To resist an expected Nazi invasion, Britain created a new defense force.
It's a happy day, toot-toot-toot-toot-lay, for you and me, for us and we, all the clowns.
Londoner Nellie Carver was quite taken with it all.
The local Defence Volunteers is assuming large proportions now and is to be seen everywhere. The PM has renamed them the Home Guard. Much nicer and more appropriate. Many of them are old soldiers and look jolly tough and solid.
Brian Poole, a young man fond of stamp collecting and model airplanes, was eager to learn about killing.
I'll be 17 on Wednesday next, and old enough to join the local Defence Volunteers. I broke the news gradually to my mother 2 nights ago. She thinks I'm too young to fight, but I don't think she'll try to stop me. The thing I'm dreading is the army boots. Big hefty things with studs in the bottom. First day in my army boots. Oh no, each one weighs a ton, I should think. It's very exciting learning how to advance in short rushes, bayonet charging. What we want is not to shoot the Boche, but to bayonet him. That which the Germans don't like, cold steel. We've had grand instructions on bayonets from Dad. Where to stick it, in the throat, in the lungs, or in the stomach, giving it a twist as you pull it out. Where to fight guerrilla warfare, and how to kill a sentry without making any noise and such as that. Oh boy, what fun. Things like this I would never have done before the war.
It's a happy day.
The heavy bombing of British cities began. The Blitz. In London, journalist Phyllis Warner recorded her changing reaction to this war from the skies.
About 1 o'clock, I heard the sound of an approaching bomber for the first time. An appalling shriek like a train whistle growing nearer and nearer, and then a sickening crash reverberating through the earth. At intervals through the night, we heard the same dreaded sound, and each time, as we held our breaths in relief at our own escape, we knew that somewhere else, agony and horror had struck. September 15th. The mornings are marvelous. It's such a triumph to wake up alive, to find the sun shining and to have a whole day before you. Of course, the ultimate horror is being buried alive. People have already been dug out after 4 days, and there must be some who haven't ever been got out. October 8th, a bad night last night. Something dropped that rocked the ground beneath us. It did colossal damage. There were arms and legs scattered all over the surrounding streets. Sweet boys, the Nazis. November the 12th. It's pretty certain that if you can stand up to the first month of bombing, you can stand up to it indefinitely. In the first week, I'd have run away if I'd had the chance. Now, I wouldn't want to be anywhere but in London.
In the heaviest period of bombing between September 1940 and May 1941, 40,000 people were killed and over 2 million homes destroyed. The worst of the Blitz was over, but in the years ahead, there would still be attacks by the Luftwaffe. This daylight raid on 2 buses in Bristol was recorded by amateur filmmaker Ray Lawrence. But by the spring of 1941, the Battle of Britain had been won. German plans for an invasion were postponed. Hitler prepared for a new war. an invasion of the Soviet Union. Terror in the East. By the spring of 1941, Hitler had decided to break his non-aggression pact with Stalin. Under the code name Operation Barbarossa, he planned the invasion of the Soviet Union. The Führer's strategy for genocide was recorded in the diary of his Chief of Staff, General Franz Halder.
Meeting with the Führer. He talks about Barbarossa. He says we must get away from the idea of soldierly comradeship. This is a war of extermination. The struggle will be very different from the one in the West. In the East, toughness now means mildness in the future. The leaders must make sacrifices and overcome their scruples.
3 million men began to move to the east. 21-year-old Adolf Goertz from Cologne wrote of his confusion.
6th of June 1941. Lots of rumors. You can feel that something big is going to happen. For weeks now, military trains have been rolling day and night to the east. Why are all these troops being taken to the east? We have a treaty with the Russians. Shouldn't we be fighting England? Shouldn't we be finishing off the Tommies?
On the eve of Operation Barbarossa, German officers toasted the largest invasion force in history. On June 22nd, 1941, Adolf Goertz heard that German troops had crossed the border.
At first we couldn't believe it. Heinz stormed into our room and yelled, "War! We have war with Russia!" Now war has really started. But everyone thinks that the war will be over in 4 weeks. The Führer must know what he's doing.
In Leningrad, student Yelena Skryabina listened to Soviet Foreign Minister Molotov on the radio.
Molotov was talking fast, as if he was short of breath. His encouraging appeal sounded completely out of place. I immediately felt as if a threatening, slow-moving monster was approaching and frightening everyone in its path.
Over 3,000 tanks attacked on 3 fronts, stretching nearly 1,000 miles from the Baltic to the Black Sea. On June 28th, Soviet soldier Alexander Golikov wrote to his wife.
Dear Tonichka, I don't know whether you will ever read these words, but I know for sure that this is my last letter. A fight is on, a heated, deadly fight. Our tank has been hit. Fascists are all around us. The Ostrovsky street is filled with corpses. They look like large, motionless lizards. It is unbearably hot, and I'm thirsty. Your portrait is lying on my knees. I am looking at it into your light blue eyes. Don't cry. You probably won't come to my grave. Will I have a grave?
The day he wrote this letter, Alexander Golikov was killed.